Unit 1 is all about the foundations of chemistry. We'll be covering 3 different chapters in this unit. Some of the major unit topics that we'll be discussing include a little bit of an overview of what chemistry is, the composition of matter, elements and compounds, physical and chemical properties and changes, mixtures and pure substances, the history of the atom, atomic structure, organization of the periodic table, and ions and their compounds. It all starts with an understanding of what exactly chemistry is. Chemistry is the study of matter and the changes that it undergoes. Chemistry is all around us. It's everywhere we look. It has everything to do with the way the sky looks, why fire feels warm, why certain chemicals can't mix with others, why it's a bad idea to mix bleach and ammonia. It all comes basically down to something very simple, and that's a scientific method. The scientific method is what we use to make an observation about our environment and take it a step further. So the first step in this method takes place right here. Here's where we note some type of observation. Now we can note anything about our environment, whether it be inside or out. Something piques our interest. And then the question that usually comes about is, well, why does that happen? That's the second step in our process. Ultimately, what it leads us to is our third step. Our third step is where we form our hypothesis. At the hypothesis part, many people fall under the unknown guidance that a hypothesis is the best guess or an educated guess. Well, what exactly makes it educated? Educated isn't really clearly defined. So instead, we're going to redefine a hypothesis as a possible explanation to that question, a possible answer to that question that can be tested. The next step in the scientific method is our experimentation. During our experiment, we're going to test that hypothesis and analyze the results. Now, from those results, we can ultimately lead back to our original question that was being asked, and we can see if we were right or wrong. It's not a one-time process, though. It's a process that's cumulative and develops over time. As you can see from this diagram, the scientific method is a cyclical process. The prediction leads to your experimentation. Your experimentation leads to more altering of the hypothesis and more predictions. Eventually, we develop a body of knowledge. Now, if that body of knowledge is an explanation to that question, then what we have here is a scientific theory. If the explanation is a summary of the natural course of multiple systems and behavior that we see over the course of many different settings, then what we have is a scientific law. There are very few scientific laws, but unlike the laws of nature, they absolutely cannot be broken. Because if a scientific law is broken, it's no longer a law. For class tomorrow, I'd like you to do something. I'd like you to make an observation about your setting right now. From that observation, I want you to write a hypothesis, keeping in mind that a hypothesis must be testable. And be prepared tomorrow to design an experiment from that hypothesis. That is all for Chapter 1. We will discuss some more in class.